everyone. My name is Jeanette Ramos, and I'm the founder and CEO of It Takes a Village Housing. It Takes a Village Housing is a nonprofit organization geared towards helping mothers get the services that they need to raise their children. It's going to provide not only drug treatment services for our mothers, but mentors for our children, home economics for our mothers. This is going to be a one-stop shop that's going to provide for our families. Drugs and alcohol seem to be a big part of our society, and how we eradicate that will be based upon what we do for this population. We're always looking for donations. Help us out with those donations. Anything that you can give would be a great help. We're always looking for beds. We're looking for toiletries. We're looking for money. And anything that you can provide us would be of great help. So if you're willing to provide this population with a second chance at life, check out my website at ittakesavillage1.org, or you can email me at ittakesavillagem@gmail.com. Here's to It Takes a Village Housing, and I look forward to meeting with each and every one of you.
You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Thank you for joining me, the Oracle of Apollo. I am your hostess, Dominique Rivera, and you are watching Divine Encounters. It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means? Supernatural story time. Huzzah! All my little inner nerd little tingles are happening right now. Love it. And make sure that you're watching this feed with your high quality H2O, because you know, if you've been here before, this is not a passive viewing experience, but one where your energy is actually going to be able to shift by the end of this feed if you play out fully. Shout out to everybody that is watching live. Hello, Mr. Chris. Thank you so much for being here. Super excited to be here. And make sure that you guys are staying for the end, because we're going to be also doing your midweek collective energy check-in. So all the good inspirational information is going to be coming in. So yes, share this feed with everybody at home. That way they can also watch as well. You're drinking coffee. I'm drinking water. I can't show you because they're not a sponsor, but I would just say Lumpin' Low Nuts coffee right here in my hand. All right, so let's bring on our guest in just a moment, but first to your health, wealth, and prosperity. Yeah, hydrated. That's the way to be. Yes, loving it. All right, so throw your hearts up on the screen, build up that love and that light, and let's bring on my guest for the night. You arrived.
What's up, Dominique?
Thank you for being here. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm excited to be here. This is going to be outrageously fun and exciting and informative. I know this.
And very different.
And very different. Yes.
So I'm glad I get to break you in a little bit.
Oh, you're gonna break me in? Okay. Nice. You're gonna be on my show, so don't forget.
Oh, wait, I better behave then. I don't want we never know what can happen. Then I get over there and it's like, oh, I have no control. What's happening?
Mm-hmm. When you're on the other side of the mic, it's a little bit different.
Yes, this is true. So hi, Robert. Thanks for being here.
What's up, Robert? Good to see you. Christopher, what's up?
Let everybody know a little bit about yourself, friend.
A little bit about myself. Well, I was born. No, let's see. I am Christopher Rausch. I am the No Excuses Coach. I'm also an author and a speaker and a podcast show host. I do the Raw and Unscripted Show, which is every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I do the Unfiltered Experience, which is Friday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I do those two shows, and I'm the future author of this book. It's Just You and Me, Kid, the story of a mother's and son's survival on the streets of California, soon to be out later this year. And I live here in Southern California with my son, who's 5 years old, and my wife of 20 years. And we just have a kick-ass life, inspiring people to be different and unique.
I love that. And that's why I was so happy to bring you on the show, because this show is all about different and unique and different perspectives, allowing everybody to share their truths, regardless of what walks of life there are, and showing that there's more than one way to receive information and assistance and support, and how that looks like for everybody, because everybody is just as unique as their fingerprint. So all things weird here, and I'm loving it.
Fly your freak flag. What's up, Joe? I see Joe in the audience. It's a great friend of mine.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. I like to start off every episode by bringing on a collective message. I love to raise the vibration before we jump into all of the meat and potatoes of your story. So to that, I say to everybody at home, pay attention. There might be a message in here for you. And what's good? So today's message comes from the card. It comes from the letter. No, I'm kidding. It comes from the card, the World Cosmos. And here are the prompts for this card. Vibrational attainment is the card for this. And here is the message from this beautiful card. She remembers the little girl she used to be, jumping off the cliff and into these unknown waters of divine magic. And now she lives here, totally at home in this ocean of creation. And as she rises out of the vast universe with the world in her hands, and everything is coming to completion, all of our energy and all of the energy is culminating into new endings of success and joy. She smiles because the closure of fruition is sweet. You've made it, kid. Celebrate. The cycle ends. The circle closes. She asks you to enjoy this coming chapter and to witness your success is on its way. Soon you will be prepared to be the fool once more, poised for another new ocean of possibility. But first, a moment to breathe and to enjoy your accomplishments. You deserve this success. In wholeness, rise now. Bright above the cusp of joy surrounds. Sweet full circle filled of paths fulfilled. Ascended skips and bounds. And that is the message for today, with the angel blessing of Angel Daniel blessing the collective with forgiveness. Holler at your angel. Let's go.
Oh, you got the Lauren bell.
First of all, that bell was me way before Lauren. He has his what does he call it? The truth bell.
Uh-huh.
And this is for clearing the energy so that our intentions could be manifested. Here we go. We got this.
Nice. Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Beautiful.
So if anything, Lauren, you hear me. Chris, what do you think about the message of today? So essentially, this card is all about completion, successful endings, closing of patterns, completing patterns. But ultimately, this is of our own design, of our own choosing. So this isn't surprising or shocking or unknown. It's a very natural cycle and something that we've worked towards. How do you feel about it?
I think about it in terms, it's a great question. I think about it in terms of identity. We were just having this conversation the other night and thinking about how we comprise our identity based on the things that we do and the things that we're involved in that particular moment. And when we transition for different things, we tend to change our identities. And I was sitting there debating the argument, like, why do we have to have an identity at all? Why can't we just sit there and simply be and be in flow? And that's something that I've struggled with over my life, is being in that state of flow and always wanting to be controlling and certain and be a specific person for everybody else. But I think that that's a beautiful message in the fact that there is endings and beginnings, but it's all fluid in the journey of life that we call this amazing experience of being human.
Yeah. And like you said, why do we have to have an identity at all? I think that's a very interesting topic, Because when I think of identity, I think of the personality that embodies the corporeal form that expresses itself from this unit that I call insert name here. But I think the soul is here to have the soul mastery. It's bringing everything that we've ever incarnated into an understanding. And then through our processes of earth school and these cycles of completion, we then pour into that soul aspect, which can then come through us and filter out as personality. So if we are in flow, then we are in the vibration of our highest personality, closest to our soul, and here and willing to complete our soul's mission.
I love that. The soul contract.
The soul contract, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I feel like this card applies to me too. So I claim this card. I know that's right. Identity mask over consciousness. That's a good one. Identity equals mask over consciousness is from Christopher. What do you think about that? You think it's a mask, a facade, a falsehood?
I think everything's a form of a mask. I think it's a form of a mask if you're not being truly congruent with who you say you are. Like for me, flying the freak flag, being the no excuses coach, doing the bandana thing, and just being who I am. Now I don't have to worry about, any type of mask. I'm like unfiltered, my shows are raw and scripted, unfiltered. So people know what they're getting with me. So for me, there's no more mask, but there definitely was a mask before. There was a mask I had to wear at work, the mask I had to wear with my friends, the mask I had to wear in public, all these different things to be all these things for other people so I could be successful. But at the end of the day, I'd rather be me than be quote unquote successful because I'm not taking any of the shit with me.
Facts. But it's interesting that you say I'd rather be me than successful. I don't know if I claim that. If I claim that statement, because I feel like in the being me, that is success.
Yes.
And the closer I am to my authenticity, the more that I champion for me, I am successful. And then and if I can teach other people to do that, then now I am wealthy. I am successful and wealthy.
Yes. And you're doing it from a place of resonancy. Like you said, vibrations before, when you're operating at the what they call the level of genius, then you're actually operating that high vibration. So you're more in association with source, God, universe, however you want to say it. So I believe when you're being authentic and you're being congruent, that's where the true success really comes, because you're not having to fake anything.
That's it right there. That's the magic. I like you say you're doing your bandana thing. I'm doing my crown thing. So it's like you're just as sparkly, but in a different way.
I'm just a sparkly.
You're a masculine sparkle.
I'm gonna put little sparklies in my beard.
Don't tempt me. I might come over with some eyelash glue and some sparkles.
You had your chance. You had your chance. We were in Chicago.
I know. I could have bedazzled it. Next time I know. Yep. You're down for bedazzling. I got it.
Do a little braids. You could do my nails too. I never had those done.
That would be so funny. Oh, Joe is laughing at us. I love this. I love it. Okay, so let's jump into our mindfulness moment for the evening. So if you guys never seen the show, welcome. So we're going to do a mindfulness practice. And what I like to do is use the prompts from the card that we got today, which was the world card. And the prompts for her are going to be our intentions for this 1 minute breathing exercise we're doing. So we're going to be breathing in today: completeness, success, attainment, full circle joy, celebrations, ending of a cycle, ascension, tying up loose ends, travel plans, and a reminder to follow through. So those are our intentions for this 1 minute. But first, before we jump into it, we have to figure out where are we at energetically right now in this moment. And communicating with yourself every single day, even if it's for just one moment, is bringing awareness to where you are at, so things don't start to build up in your world and you don't get an emotional tower moment where it's just like you're so overwhelmed you don't even know where this is being triggered from. So I'm going to give everybody at home a moment to just check in from 1 to 10. Where are you at energetically? 1 being this is the least amount of energy I can hold, and 10, this is the most amount of energy I can hold. Put that in the comment section below now. All right, so your first friend, where are you at energetically in this moment?
Energetically in this moment, I would say I am an 8.
Good. That's a good solid number.
Yeah.
Cynthia is saying she's also at an 8.5 with you there.
Right on, Cynthia.
I would say I'm like at a between like a 9.4 and 9.6. Mr. Robert says he's at a 5 today, so he's right there in the middle. Lee is at an 8.
Lee, what's up, brother?
Chris is at a 6. And Joe is also at an 8. And Cynthia says, hi, Rob.
Hi,
She
Rob.
snuck a hi, Rob in there. Hi, Rob. All right. So what I'm going to ask everybody at home to do is place your palms face up because this is the receiving position. Make sure your feet and your ankles are not crossed if you're sitting. And you're going to close your eyes at the sound of the bell. I'm going to put a timer on the screen. You don't have to look at me. And then I'm going to walk you backwards from 60 seconds. And we're all going to breathe in together. Let's go.
Okay.
Breathing in now, eyes closed, and we're breathing in the energy of completion on that natural inhale. Let that energy saturate itself. Anywhere your body is feeling any tension, just breathe into it and then let that go. On your next natural inhale, allowing all loose ends. You too, Chris, you close your eyes.
I want to look at you.
No, you close your eyes, sir. Don't. I know it's awkward to close your eyes, but you're in the experience. Breathe in.
Asleep.
No, don't fall asleep. Breathe in. Be with yourself in that moment. Get through the discomfort of that and let that go. Yes. Breathing in completions and just notice where your body feels like it's tensing up or it may need a little bit of extra space made. And on the exhale, letting go what no longer serves you. On this last natural inhale, I want you to breathe in full cycle joy. That means everything you're going to be met with going forward is in joy. And just breathe that in, full belly expansion, let that go. And just let yourself lovingly relax and fall into space and time and now without any objections, without any judgment. And we're going to go ahead and very gently bring our left and right palm to touch one another in prayer position in front of our heart space. And we're going to bow to the fact that we just took this moment to honor ourselves. So namaste to everybody at home and gently opening your eyes, coming back to the here and now. Welcome back. Welcome back. And please don't stand because some of you might be lightheaded or dizzy. That is fine and absolutely normal. If you were in the experience, you're shifting. And this is why we invite you to have the high quality H2O, because electricity moves best through water and you are an electrical being creating an electrical circuit. And when we rest, what we're doing is we're telling the autonomic nervous system to reset. So we're sending an electrical impulse signal through the entire body and we're allowing those chemicals to radiate inside of the brain so that way we can be more relaxed and reset. So cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
Now in the comment section below, where are you at energetically from 1 to 10? And if you felt anything, did you feel hot? Did you feel cold? Did you feel tingling? Did you have to move through something uncomfortable? Did you feel pain? Did you feel emotion? Did you see a color? Let me know in that comment section below. And of course, we're starting with you, sir.
Actually, so energetically, I feel calmer. So does that mean my number goes down? Is that a good thing?
Your number can go up and you can feel more grounded and calmer.
Okay. So I would say my energy level is now a 9, but I'm calmer. And the thing that came for me was just enjoying the moment. I didn't feel any stress or anything else. I was just enjoying the moment with you and listening to your voice.
Nice. Beautiful. I feel like for me, I'm at a solid 10. I feel energy in the band of my head right here, and I felt it burrowing through me. So it feels good. I also feel grounded, but I feel like a head high now as well.
Nice.
Cynthia went up to a 9.5.
Right on,
yeah,
Cynthia.
She did so good. And the purpose of this is to notice how quickly we can recalibrate and bring ourselves back to center, de-stress, so we can be anywhere, in the parking lot, at work, in the bathroom, taking a moment and letting go of tension in 1 minute. So that way, we don't wind up on the 5 o'clock news because we murdered everybody in our in our building. That would be a bad thing. She says she was releasing shoulder tension. Love it. And her face was tingling. Christopher says 6.5, but I didn't drink water. More light everywhere, but the spine. So you definitely brought in a lot more light. I love that. Lee says he's at a 9 now, released a little tension, and he feels more grounded. Good job, everybody. Lee. Yeah, everybody did fantastic here. And Joe says, I'm at work. So difficult to judge.
Come on, Joe, you can do it.
Hashtag replay do again.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You can do these. They're in every single episode. There's like enough content here to have probably like 5 hours of these 1 minute experiences. Nice. Okay. And speaking of these 1 minute experiences, thank you everybody for showing up for yourselves today. We're going to be jumping into now a new experience where Christopher's going to tell us about his supernatural story time. So get the kids, get the wife, get the husband, get the pets, get your mama, get your neighbor. Let's go. Okay, Christopher, you've had a supernatural story time. I want to hear about it. Oh my God. So tell me first and foremost, once upon a time, did you believe or not believe that anything greater than yourself existed?
Once upon a time, no, I did not believe.
And why do you think that was?
I wasn't educated on it. I had no idea about it.
Okay. So how did you become educated on this topic? I want to know.
Through curiosity, as people were passing away, I was wondering what was going on. People were talking about heaven. Some people were talking about, hell. Some people were talking about, that there's nothing after this. And I started like trying to figure out for myself, what did I want to believe in and what did I believe in based on the people that I trusted the most. And so that I believed in there was an afterlife. And then I started studying like that. And actually my buddy Lee, he was here, has taught me a lot of stuff. My buddy Scott has taught me a lot of stuff. Jock has taught me a lot of stuff. Everybody keeps teaching me stuff about the afterlife and the spirit guides and the journeys. And I just continue to embrace it and find it actually quite fascinating.
So what did you land on as far as, okay, so actually my first question is, when you started noticing what other people were saying about afterlife, and I know through different cultures, there's different understandings of what afterlife entail, if there even is a belief of an afterlife in their culture. Because some people just believe once you're dust, and that's it. You go back to earth and se acabó. So what do you feel like was the most common thing you heard, or was there like an agreement between all the different people you were speaking on, like they all believe the same thing, or were there variables?
There was some variables, but everything was pretty much pointing to the fact of near-death experiences and what they had all experienced in that. So I started watching documentaries and started watching YouTube videos about this and seeing that this could not be an anomaly. This has to be something that's legit. When people have said they've been dead for 20 minutes and they've talked about who they met and who they saw, the fact they didn't want to come back here, there's a lot of validity in that for me. And I see that, especially since my mom passed away and my mentor has passed away, I've seen what I feel like are their communications from the other side through animals and through actions. So I believe in it. I believe that I've had readings before where people have said, your spirit guides are around your son all the time and your spirit guides are there for you. They described them to me and they sound like the people that I knew. So I just have a faith in it. I have a belief in it because if I believe that there's nothing there, then I'm going to go crazy.
So you feel like this came through a sense of need?
Yeah, sense of need, sense of curiosity. As we get older, you start to realize that you're not here forever. And, you start to wonder, okay, what's next? And for me, I look forward to that transition to be able to say, okay, what am I supposed to do on the other side? If I come here and if I fulfilled my soul contract, then great. I'm on to the next thing and maybe I come back, who knows? Right. I guess we don't know that here in the physical realm, but we know it once we go back to the spiritual realm.
Absolutely true. And I've had so many people come on the show with near-death experiences and share, and you're just like, wow. And I've also had a near-death experience as well. And it's interesting. So what do you feel like was when you started to notice things in your life that are started to go, oh, wait, there's connectors. Oh, wait, these new people are coming in and they all have this information. Because then you start to have one friend who knows something and then multiple friends who all know these things and you're being poured into. And then you start to notice, wait, I'm being poured into. So do you remember where you were at in your life when all of a sudden you started to get support? I'm going to call them soulmates because that's the word I would use. People who are teaching your soul something. They are the mate of your soul. So that way they can assist you in the expansion of your soul. So when do you start to notice these things occurring, or what situation was happening in your life at that time?
Quite honestly, and you might laugh at this, it was towards, well, I left corporate back in November of 2019, left corporate to become a coach and speaker and do all my stuff. So after that, it was shortly thereafter that the COVID hit. And so the pandemic hit, my mother-in-law was here, my son was here. So we were basically locked in a house for a year and a half. During that time, if you watched the news at any particular moment, whatever you watched, it was pretty much doom and gloom. You had the murder of George Floyd, you had the presidential elections going on, you had cancel culture, you had all these things that were indicating that humanity was going to hell in a handbasket on a rocket ship. And then somebody reached out to me and said, you need to be on this app called Clubhouse. And I was like, Clubhouse, I don't need to be on any other social media apps. I'm not even on Twitter very much, blah, blah, blah. And so I just disregarded it. And then somebody within a period of an hour, two people who I had not talked to in a while literally texted me and said, Chris, you need to be on this app. And so for me, it was something was telling me that I needed to be on this app. So I go download the app and I get on it and I go into this room where this guy invited me. And immediately I started seeing and recognizing that humanity wasn't as screwed up as it's played out to be on TV. And I started finding that, there was a bunch of souls in there: white, black, straight, gay, Republican, Democrat, short, fat, bald, any label you want to put on it. They were all in these rooms. And we had a lot of people in these rooms during COVID. And I just found that people were more alike than they were different. And nobody was asking, who did you vote for? What's your stance on abortion? What do you think about the vaccinations? What about the price of rice in China? Nobody was asking any of that. It was just people pouring into one another and being connected with their voice. It wasn't anything visual. It was all from the voice. And from the voice, you can really tell somebody's personality. You can see and feel their heart. And during that, I just started feeling connections to people that I never met in my entire life, but felt that we were all drawn to this place during this chaotic time for us to continue learning from one another and pouring into one another and setting the example for the rest of society to see that we are more the same than we are different. So for me, those energies and those alignments and those relationships from there have brought me down the road of spirituality, and to be able to understand it more effectively with my friends like Lee and Jock and Mary Kay and all the different people that are in my life in these rooms. Each and every week we go in there to pour into other people, but we actually get poured into ourselves. So I would say it was from that point.
Wow. That's amazing that you're saying that, because I have a similar experience. And I was just telling Dano, weekly dose of Dano, shout out, tomorrow night at 6 p.m. The same thing, but it was virtual reality. And hold on, let me make this big. Oh, you guys can't see it, but she's right there. My virtual reality headset. Every Monday night we would have content creator meetings, and like we were all locked in. And it was just like, wow, this is a really lonely existence, just being locked into this place. And then you're starting to see the generation of all these people's mental states, because this has never been a reality in previous time for our existence anyways, right? So then it just became difficult. That it's like, and then the fear, like you were saying, all the fear, cancel culture, the murders, all of this was being just boom in the media. And it was just like, these layers of division were being created among us, when in reality, what was happening was, I personally feel like the dark can see the light's movement before the light even gets there. It's like the ripple in the water, the pebble. And it's just like, let's try to dampen this. Let's try to diminish this light, because there's a shift happening. And I feel like it's a collective shift, a global shift, a harmonic shift. Yes. And everybody right now is in that participating factor, whether they recognize it, whether it's subtle, whether it's subconscious still, but you're in the water, you're in the pool right now. The fact that you're even listening to this message is saying that there is something fantastic supporting you in your life, that is a high vibrational frequency, that is bringing you along on this journey, that is there to help the global collective consciousness. Because every time we pour into ourselves, like in Clubhouse, or pour into other people, we get poured into, because we are not a perfect vessel. We overflow, and therefore the collective succeeds. We win. We are supporting one another, and all of this division that's trying to stop us or stop the momentum, I don't think is going to work. I really don't think it's going to work at all. We're too connected now. Mm-hmm. All these other social media platforms, they want you to believe that they're here disconnecting us, when they're really bringing worlds apart together.
Yes, it is. It is true. And the younger generations now aren't going to tolerate the stuff that these old people are out there trying to espouse. So we just have to get through this time in our world and leave it to the kids, and leave the world a better place for who we are and what we do every single day.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And so how do you feel like now the divine or your guides present themselves? How do you know there's a guide assisting you? And is there a time in your life where you can recall, like, wait a minute, this was definitely not me who did this. How this outcome came is miraculous, is divine, it's inspiring. I cannot say this was me. What does that story look like for your world?
That's a great question. I would have to go. The first one that pops into my mind is this event was a Toastmasters. I was at Toastmasters, and this guy that was going to be speaking there, his name was Craig Duswalt, and he was the founder of the Rockstar System for Success Marketing, something like that. So he had Rockstar in there, and this was about the time where I went from being a suit and tie speaker to doing the kick-ass thing and wearing the bandana. And I was like, well, I don't really want to go to Toastmasters, but this guy sounds kind of interesting. And I literally was not going to go. I literally decided in the last 20 minutes, I'm like, you know what? Somebody will be there and they'll just give me the information or whatever. But something told me, Chris, just go. And so I got in the car, went to the Toastmasters thing. Most of the people there didn't care for me because I would not play by the rules all the time. And they knew I was a rule breaker. But anyways, I go to this guy's breakout session. And the first he leads off the whole entire event, having us all sing Neil Diamond, Sweet Caroline. I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. So I go to his breakout session. I walk in there and he says, a couple of lucky winners today are going to win my books and my DVDs and win 2 tickets to the Rockstar System for Marketing Success in Los Angeles. And I was like, okay, whatever, no big deal. I don't really care about that. I'm here, just to see what this guy's about and see if, you can actually cross rock star stuff with business stuff and, in the speaker world. And come to find out, he was the personal manager for Axl Rose during the Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion tour, both of those tours. And so he asked everybody to send him a text message, and he was just going to pick some random text messages to give him the prizes. So I sent the text message. My wife texted me. She's like, what time are you going to be home? Blah, blah, blah. The guy's talking. I'm not really paying attention. All of a sudden, he's like 714-308-67. I'm like, huh? What happened? He goes, you won. I'm like, I won. I never win anything. So he hands me this bag of books and all this other stuff. And he goes, you got 2 tickets to the event. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, So long story short, I go to the event and I'm sitting there and just realize about when you're surrounded by like-minded people, when you're surrounded by people who are smarter and more successful than yourself, and you invest in yourself to be around those people full time, like joining a mastermind, that's exactly what I did. I felt called to spend the money. I didn't have the money to spend. I could have spent it on bills and everything else, but I just every step of the way, something kept nudging me like, Chris, you need to do this. Chris, you need to do this. Chris, you need to do this. So I signed up for the mastermind. I was in the mastermind for, I believe, 2 years, met some amazing individuals. They helped me, brand the Kick-Ass Guide to Life, the whole no excuses thing, and set me on my way. And so I feel like if I had not gone to that event that day, if I had not been nudged through all the different decisions that I made, I wouldn't be sitting here now as doing what I do. I'm sure it would eventually happen, but I felt that something was nudging me and guiding me all the way. Write the check, Chris. It's going to pay off. Keep going. And I wound up meeting Les Brown. I don't know if you know Les Brown. I wound up meeting Les Brown. He wound up having me put a bandana on him when he couldn't get the whole Rockstar Kick-Ass thing. And he took me out into the lobby of the Sheraton Gateway Hotel and told me, Chris, I can put you on stages. You're an amazing speaker, but I can't do this. And I was dressed in my bandana, my shirt and tie and everything, kind of, rock star business. And he goes, I can't do this. And I said, Les, I just stopped being a suit and tie speaker because I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm not like everybody else. I'm unique. I'm me. I said, for you to say that is massive, because when I was homeless and people gave me cassette tapes to listen to, they were Tony Robbins and Les Brown. So, man, I hold you on a high pillar, a high regard, but I can't change who I am. And I know I walked away from that, and it was pretty crazy. But everything along the way just nudged me to be there. And I believe that was my spirit guides.
Wow. That's a big wow. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I got to come back to center because I got so excited about that. So what would you say? What does a nudge feel like? Actually, that's my first question. What does a nudge for those people? Because now they're like, okay, you were homeless and you were listening to this, and then you even got to the person that you were listening to. So it's interesting because when we see a problem, I started channeling for a second. When we start to see a problem, the solution is actually entwined within the problem at the same exact moment. So the moment you notice that you actually have a problem, there's a solution on the other side of that that's willing to come to you, but that our resistance, because we're only so focused on the problem and not the solution, we actually can't ascertain that into our vibrational field. So that's why we think we put obstacles up. So
Amen.
What does a nudge feel like?
A nudge feels like what my friend Glenn Morshower would say. He calls it a whisper. Like when you just hear a whisper, like when you're sitting there thinking about driving straight and all of a sudden something tells you to turn right and you don't know what it is, but you just like, something just told me to turn right. That's what it is. It's that nudge. We all have it. It's all of our intuition. And so I believe it was just a little nudge. It's like, Chris, you need to do this. It was like, what? Just kind of like out of nowhere. I don't know if it was my conscious or whatever else, but I believe it was some sort of spirit guiding me in those moments and giving me that nudge or that whisper to say, listen to this. And I now more than ever, I listen to that whisper. I listen to that nudge. I listen less to my cerebral mind because I think it's trying to keep me safe and certain and predictable, where my soul is like sitting there, let's go. Fourth year wide open, baby. Enjoy this life. Go after this, show up, participate. That's why I was there in Chicago for the Power We event. It was like somebody just said, go there and be there and do this. And like Lauren said, he goes, I have no idea why I'm inviting you, but I feel like I'm called to invite you. It's all that synchronicity. And when you fall into that synchronicity and you don't fight it anymore, like Michael Singer says in The Untethered Soul or The Surrender Experiment, those 2 books are phenomenal. You just show up and you participate in life. It rewards you energetically, vibrationally, spiritually, financially, everything.
Yes, it does reward you. And here's the kicker is that we think that the outcome should be immediate, right?
Right.
So it's like sometimes we're placed in a particular class during Earth School, right? We're taking our credits.
Love that.
Yeah, we're taking our credits in Earth School, and to get your master's degree in the physical plane, it's not overnight. It's not one time go. There's a series of things that we have to learn. What is that? Like not an agenda. What is it when you go sign up for classes in school and they give you like all your classes?
Oh, like the syllabus or something?
Yeah, like a syllabus. There's
Table of contents.
Yes, there's a particular syllabus that you have to go through in order to achieve your master's. So it's the same thing here in Earth School. It's like you want to manifest that $7 million, $8 million, or whatever it is. Plus, that's funny. I said that, and there was 7 people and 8 hearts on the screen at the same time.
Whoa!
You want to manifest that, but you're sitting here letting your pennies fall down the drain. You're not being responsible for what you currently have. So if you want to have a bigger garden or you want to have a bigger bank account, you need to make sure that what you have, you're actually respecting. The same thing. You can't do 2 acres of land, take care of it when your house plant keeps dying. It's just, it's not fathomable. You have to be responsible for what's in your field. So you have to look at where is it leaking? Where can I, those things that I think are garbage or that I have tossed to the side, how could I recycle them? How could I use them? How can I upgrade or transmute them? And it's very important to recognize that some things that we throw away are actually treasures inside of our fields, such as when you're little and you're getting bullied because you talk a lot or you're loud. And then when you grow up, maybe you wind up being a really good comedian or something, right? So it's like it's suppressed. Those things that we disregard as unusable are emotions that we suppress. But just like you said, I can't do this. I cannot do this because inside of me, it's not authentic. So I need to wear my bandana so that I can embody that element. So before you had disregarded that as something that wasn't valuable. And then you went ahead, your authenticity said, no, there's a clash. There's a resistance between this personality and this personality. And if I don't step into this authenticated self, I just refuse to do it all together because there is more in being authentic than there is in creating a life of resistance where I continue to stay on the cycle of patterning that doesn't actually allow me to grow and to know myself.
Yes. Fully support that. Fully agree with it. Yes. Mic drop. See a little microphone? Mic drop. Mic drop. Boom.
Mine's on a boom, so I can't drop my mic.
Don't drop your mic. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Oh, that's beautiful. But and I actually try to keep reminders of that. I have a scarab beetle here on my desk.
That's not real,
and
is it?
like the dung beetle, it takes what is disregarded by most people, the poop, and it turns it into this ball, which it uses. So it's kind of like, don't disregard aspects of yourself because society thinks it's garbage.
Yep. Gotta have gratitude for it all.
Absolutely. And I'm with you too. If I couldn't show up to an event, I've shown up to events to speak at colleges and things in full ball gown. And I'm sorry, I'm just not showing up in a suit. It is not authentic. It is not authentic to me. So what would you say to people who are trying to step into your authenticity? How can they do that? What are some steps or something that they can take away from that?
That's a great question. It's just, you have to recognize, you have to get real with yourself. I mean, that's the first aspect of it, is getting real and raw with yourself. Like, who am I at my core? And the first thing that I find that I do with my clients is I sit there and I have them write down what they're tolerating, because oftentimes we don't see what we're tolerating. So when you write a list of what you're tolerating from yourself, what you're tolerating from inanimate objects, and what you're tolerating from other people, you write that list. I give that to my coaching clients. The first week they come back, usually about 10 or 12 things from each category. And I sit there and think, really? Go back and think about that. Like, really pay attention to all the different things, like the washing machine, the door always sticks and you have to sit there and fuck with it. This stuck, this does this, that does that. These people do this. And then sit there and write that list out. And invariably people come back with like 30 things like, oh my God, Chris, I didn't realize all the different things I was tolerating. And when you're tolerating stuff, you don't get to be you. You have to be everything for everybody else because you're like, oh, let me deal with this and let me deal with this and let me deal with this. So I invite people to sit there and say, okay, what would life feel like? How would you feel if you didn't tolerate a third of those things? Not everything, but because some things we have to tolerate. People, have idiosyncrasies. I know I do. But what would it feel like if you didn't have a third of those things that you had to tolerate? And people immediately usually say freedom. I would feel free. I'm like, okay, so what would you do with that freedom? How would you feel with you? I wouldn't worry. Okay, I wouldn't worry as much. Okay, so you're worrying, so you're pretending to be somebody else. So you got to figure out what it is that you're tolerating, and then just be you. Just be you, unapologetically you. That's one thing, again, I learned from Clubhouse is I would get on there and I would swear every once in a while, and I would do, I'm the kick-ass guy. And some people I know I'm not for. I know some people look at me and go, what the hell? But a lot of people are sitting there, man, you're flying your freak flag. You're being authentic. You're being authentic. You're just being you. And people like, oh, you're so this, you're so that. And I'm like, thank you, but I'm just now being me. So once you just step into that and you just own who you are, not without fail. I mean, I ask people for constructive feedback all the time. You're like, do I talk in circles? Do I do this? And people will give me feedback because we all want to grow. But once you step into that and you own it, two things are going to happen. You're going to attract a whole bunch of more people in your life. And some of the people in your life are going to want you to go back to being who they thought you were and wanted you to be. And you have to wish those people well.
Yes, because when you are who they want you to be, you are in the palm of their hand. They can manipulate you for the outcomes that they need for you to fulfill the narrative in their perspective of their life of what they need. Yes, and, we hold on so strongly to that desire for what we think is being seen or what we think is love or what we think is being wanted. And we're not willing to make that sacrifice. And then that word sacrifice becomes this really scary word because it means that I'm letting go of something. But then we interpret it and we just focus on that letting go and don't realize that is just a comma at the end of letting go and not a period. And then it says for something even greater, for something even bigger, for something even more filled with love and understanding and compassion.
Yeah.
And
you got to make space.
You got to make space. You got to make space. That's
Amen,
it.
Sister.
And that's for your, like you said, for your authenticity, for your mind, for your spirit, for all of you, for you as a whole. Wow, this has been amazing. We're going to come back with Chris in just a moment. He's going to give, let you guys know how you can work with him right after this really quick commercial break from intentionpen.com. Thank you for joining me back on Divine Encounters. I am your hostess, Dominique Rivera. Don't forget to check out our Facebook Seekers Challenge Room, where I challenge you every week with an adventure in your own backyard, so that way you can embody the energy of adventure and manifestation. Because if we want to be a part of life and go into the wild and into the unknown, we must first wonder where we are. And don't forget, if you want to coach with me, or if you would like a reading or a session, check me out at oracleofapollo.com. All right, let's bring on Chris. And Chris, let everybody at home know where they can get a hold of you, please.
They can get a hold of me. The easiest place is www.christopherrausch.com, RAUSCH. Or if you forget that, go to noexcusescoach.com. And if you want to find me on anything social media, just type in No Excuses Coach. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. Would love to. And as my special gift to you guys who have been watching this program, if you would like, you can actually have 1 hour of coaching with me as my complimentary gift for you guys watching this particular episode. So just hit me up in the social media somewhere and let me know that you watch me on Dominique's show, and I will give you that complimentary session with me for an hour. We'll work on one major problem that you got going on. No excuses, and we'll get you on your way to be able to overcome that problem. So that's my gift to you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Oh, that's so amazing. I love it. Okay, so you're not going anywhere, so don't you guys go anywhere. We're going to jump into the question of the day, and this question is not just for Chris, but for you guys at home. So put your thinking caps on because you're about to learn something about yourself. All right.
Music.
Yes.
I'm just rocking out.
My little whale, cosmic whale floating in the sky. So here's your question. And for everybody at home, the question is, let's make it big. Am I living according to the expectations and dreams of others or of my own? And how do I distinguish them from each other? Which is really interesting because it just sounds like our whole conversation that we just had right now. So what do you think about this?
What do I think about this question? I know I'm living my dreams on my terms because that's why I left corporate back in November of 2019. I was comfortably miserable at a job that I was excellent at, but when you think about your zone of excellence versus your zone of genius, as they talk about in The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, it's about being vibrationally aligned with who you are. And my gift to you guys out there is to consider this. To know that if you're going after your own dreams is to think about, are you being congruent with the legacy that you want to leave? If you don't know what your legacy is, then go out there and write your eulogy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's what it is. You got to write your eulogy, because when you write your eulogy and you know what you want to be remembered for, you get to work backwards from that every single day. So I wake up and I say what I'm grateful for, and then I set my intentions to fulfill that legacy. So part of that legacy is that Christopher Rausch will have fought for what was right and what was fair. He will have risked fruits that mattered, and he will have left the earth a better place for who he was and what he did. So I wake up, I set the intention as I'm going through my day. If I find myself being a party poopy pants, then I sit there and say, Chris, are you fulfilling your expectation, your legacy? Yes or no? If I'm not, then I redirect myself. I go to gratitude, and then I get back on the mission of what it is that I'm here to do, which is to make the earth a better place for who I am and what I do.
I love this. And what Cynthia says, not caring what people think of me, I like pissing people off.
Nice. Look at Cynthia. We'll get along great. Actually, I don't like pissing people off anymore. I've changed so much. I used to say success is the best revenge, but now I say success is the best karma, because I don't have any ill will towards anybody. It's like, go fly your freak flag, go do what you got to do. Maybe we're for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and just move on with your bad self. But so many people stay stuck and they sit there and commiserate and they blame everybody else and they waste their time playing a someday game, when you just really got to just get present with yourself. Know what you want, know the legacy you want to achieve, get the right people behind you, and you'll enjoy every moment of it. Maybe.
Absolutely. It's like you're putting out into the universe without expectation other than being the best version of yourself. Serving's the best. Making somebody else's life better it's such an amazing gift. Absolutely. Joe says, best advice is doing what Chris mentioned. I'm grateful for. Thanks, Chris, for those tools. You're welcome, Joe. Thank you for that comment. All right, Chris, we're going to pop you into the green room. You can have some aloe vera water made specially for you. Thank you. It has all the good juju inside of it while I do this reading, but pay attention because like I told you in the green room earlier, this usually falls in line. It's funny about the question too, by the way. Question, I didn't even know we were going to talk about that, and that came in. But this message, you pay attention. All right, we're going to put you back there. We'll see you in a minute. All right, everybody. So if this is your first time watching, stay hang out. Even if you're not used to or cards are not your thing, we use cards as a visual representation for neutral advice and neutral guidance that we can then, it's an objective view of the subjective matters that we have within our hearts. And it's guidance. And if you feel like this is something that scares you, maybe ask yourself why. I always like to ask my clients why. And it's usually because of a pre-programming, but I mean, they're just cards. So, let's go. All righty, starting off with a strong card here, we have the life experience card. Very interesting about this card because we started off today with the collective theme, which was the world. If you remember earlier today, it was about completion. This card is also about completions, and it says a significant life event. A powerful revelation that leads to change. Time to spread your wings. And when I see this time to spread your wings, this card actually translates to the death card, which means there's a recycle, there's a rebirthing here. So there's something that we're leaving, like the world card with completion, that we've worked towards, that has already filled our cup to the point where it can no longer fill our cup, and now we move on. So we've graduated. Maybe it's a birth where we're going out of being a one person to a family. You know, this could be a myriad of things, but basically it's just saying we're transitioning. Spread your wings, have faith. And I feel like hope and faith is going to be really a topic of this particular reading today, but we'll see. We'll see. This is just the intuitive understanding that's coming in. Trust the unknown. I'm sorry. What did I just say? Right. The cards are over here just validating everything I say. Stop listening, Spirit. Oh my God. No, but trust in the unknown. This is basically if you knew that behind the door of opportunity, that behind the door of success, behind the door of freedom, behind the door, insert label here, was exactly what you needed, wanted, desired, and was in alignment with your highest vibrational self, you'd have to trust that the fact that you walked through that door in the room, those things would be there. However, universe, creator, spirit will only ever lead you to the first step. Once you meet them 50% of the way to that door, you yourself have to take the other 50%, open the door with your arm, and walk into the room. So just because you can't see what's in the room, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't walk that path. So allow yourself to have faith in what you already know, which is when I trust my instincts, when I trust my gut, good things happen. When I align myself vibrationally away from worry, away from outcome, away from expectation, I surrender, I am vibrationally aligned, the things flow into my life with much more ease. So trust in that. When we want to put our dirty hands into the soup, what happens is we try to manipulate the recipe when really we should be calibrating at all times. And we calibrate by allowing ourselves to let go, to surrender, to release the tension, and let that autonomic nervous central system reset. That is a perfect way. And we do that through meditation and through ease and through experiences that bring peace and calm into our lives. Our animal for the midweek collective energy check-in is peacock. Mind you, this is a male peacock. Protect your heart from those who may cheat before they hurt you. So what I want to say about this is being vulnerable does not make you weak. Being kind does not make you soft. Being open does not make you a fool. I feel like this is saying practice discernment. Don't just give your heart away to anyone. The same way when the Prince of Nigeria sends you an email about, can you please send this many rupees to my account? You don't immediately jump. So you have to practice discernment. Everybody is willing. Everybody is worthy of forgiveness, but not everybody is worthy of your time. Okay. So if somebody has done you wrong in the past and you've shut your heart down because of that past, what you're doing is actually building a wall. And that wall that you have then built doesn't even allow love to come in. So protect your independence, your heart space. This doesn't mean be angry. It means love yourself so much that you don't let people climb your walls with bad intentions. Love yourself so much that you place a boundary up. Love yourself so much that you go ahead and you reaffirm the boundary. Love yourself so much that you walk away from toxic places, people, situations, circumstances. Love yourself so much that you protect you and your value, your asset, which is your heart. Okay. Our next card, express your feelings. Okay. Express your feelings. This feels very in alignment with what I just said. So if something doesn't feel right, communicate that it doesn't feel right. Don't suppress anything for conditional love. Don't lie, so that way it's easier than the truth, so that you can get the response that you want. Express your feelings. What is it that you need? Expressing yourself allows you to authenticate who you are and to give validity to your shadow. Aphrodite, love. This is all about love, loving yourself, nurturing yourself, creating beauty around yourself, being in tune with yourself. Love, 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 love. And then we're finalizing this reading with the green Tara. And she says, ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. And for some of us, it might be that we have become so incoherent out of that love state that we want to do everything alone because we're afraid, because we've been hurt. Like that said about maybe you've been cheated on. Cheating can be disappointments, betrayal. It could just literally be anything. Okay. So this is saying allow yourself to be vulnerable, be kind, practice discernment, and those people who you become discerning with will fall in the correct vibrational alignment and be of service. And then they'll teach you to be of service, and you can pour into one another. But you got to trust the process. You got to let go of who you were and who those people were in your life or situation, circumstances, and trust that you have stepped forward into the new and exciting version of yourself, especially right now with that world card. Angel Ariel blessing the collective with purpose, and Angel Raphael blessing the collective with opportunity. Make sure you claim your blessings below, because the angels always want to work with you and through you, however they respect your free will. So make sure you're claiming that there. And I will hit this bell because I know I'm claiming it. All right, let's bring Chris back on, see what he has any thoughts around anything that I just said, even though it sounded like 1,000 words a minute.
The thing I keyed in on, and I loved all of it, the thing I keyed in on it about is the not having everything planned, not the unknown, fear of the unknown. Because realistically, when you think about it, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes. That's one thing that COVID taught us, is like everybody's like wanted predictability and certainty. But what would happen if we just let that go? We just said, okay, for every moment that I'm here and I'm blessed to be breathing, then I'm just going to enjoy it. And that whatever happens is going to happen. And just like every other time in my life, I've always figured it out. When anything challenging has happened, I figured it out. So why worry about what's going on right now? Why worry and set fear into some place that might not happen, and just enjoy those moments? I mean, 98% of all fears are never realized, never materialized. So we're wasting precious time focusing on stuff that isn't even going to happen. Instead, we can actually focus on being grateful and serving and making the world a better place.
Absolutely. 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 And I love that. Everybody's agreeing with you. Yes. And Chris says, no such thing as safety, so embrace the unknown.
Chris embraced the unknown. He drove all the way from Utah to Chicago.
I know. He is such a rock star, him. And it was such a delight meeting him and everybody else that went. And just like you, I was just like, okay, I don't even know why I'm going to this event. I'm not speaking. So what am I doing here? And it kind of fell into, the vibrational alignment of everybody that I got to meet and, exchange energy in that way for show. And exchange for show and exchange energy in that way. Thank you, Chris, so much for being here. It was such a delight to have you.
Thank you.
And make sure everybody at home tunes in Sunday night when I do all of your horoscopes and your elements. And if you have no idea and that sounds like gibberish to you, don't worry. Just come be inspired, have your cup poured into, get an energy clearing, and just start the week with some beautiful words from your guides. And that's all you have to know. And that's the only place you need to start at, with just trusting. So let's wrap this up. I'm going to share what I learned today, and we're going to do that con mucho, mucho amor. Do you or someone you know experience something supernatural that has left a positive impact on yourself or the lives of others? Want to share your story on our show? Please email Divine Encounters at e360tv.com, and together, let's create divine experiences. And now, the Oracle's final thoughts con mucho amor. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on this week's episode, where Christopher Rausch gave you guys a beautiful example of his journey of authenticity. I think as we continue to move forward, especially while we're leaving the advent of COVID pretty much, it's more important now than ever to learn who you are. What do you want? What makes you tick? What are your desires? And what does that look like? It doesn't matter how. It just matters how it feels. And as long as we can focus on the feeling, we learn that we put ourselves on a rail for success. We put ourselves and propel ourselves energetically to that tomorrow. And then from here, all we have to do is have faith and trust and know that it's possible, because we've made it this far after all. I hope you guys go forward and create your own divine experiences in your own life. And make sure you go in love, light, and wisdom to know thyself, love thyself, and remember the divine always has your back. Ciao.
Everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels the most, just remember. Just remember. Just remember.